Welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I am Laura Simmons, and I have with me tonight Margaret Green.
Hello, how you doing?
So, how's everybody doing out there tonight? Thank you for tuning in. We love you guys, and we want to thank you for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. We know that you can spend your time doing anything. Take time out to spend it with us, and we appreciate it.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
yeah. So Margaret, how was your date so far today?
It's pretty good. It was a bit it was productive. Just a little tired. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, it was hot outside, so
Oh, it was hot here at first, but it's been cooled off now, so the temperature done dropped. Now you need a jacket to go outside now because it's been cooled off.
it's still in the 70s or 80s right now. Because I know we got up to almost 90 or 90 today.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
actually glad it's cooling down because I don't sleep well when it's hot like that.
me either.
It's very uncomfortable.
It is, and that's for anybody.
Yeah. I
Especially when
did
you got
my
heat
walk.
on top of heat.
I did my walking today, and um I did a treadmill and did my exercises and stuff today. So I feel good. That's what helped me get through and stuff like that. And just dealing with a lot of stuff, but I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better. Now if
Yeah.
only I could figure out what's causing my skin to break out. That would be a plus. I know stress does it, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, stress will do some damage, boy. But
And imbalance too. Hormonal imbalance will do it too.
yeah, yeah. I had found some kind of PM pills that I was taking, and they said it was for the hormonal imbalance and stuff. Um, and I just stopped taking them because I didn't see it wasn't helping me. It wasn't helping me at all. So I know it's stress. That's what it is. It's just
Mhm.
stress. I got too much stuff going on in my life right now, too much on my plate, and so yeah, I know that that's what it is. It's stress. So once I get everything back on track, I'll be all right. But today's topic is um what was the topic for today? You remember? Do you remember? Do you
Racism.
remember? You remember? It was racism.
Racism.
Yeah, yeah. It's why do it's it in the thing it says why why do my skin color bother you so much? That's what it says. Hey, good afternoon, good evening,
Hi,
Facebook
Freddie.
user. I don't know if that's Freddie or Ursula, but good
Good
evening, and
evening.
you. Thank you for tuning in. So it said, "Why does my skin color bother you so much?" It's
Yeah, you
what
got
the
that right.
yeah, and it's and I um I had to say that I put it that way because it obviously our skin color bother a lot of folks. It bothers a lot of folks.
Some of it
Um,
jealousy.
Yeah, but but it was a long time ago. I remember this guy that I dated years and years ago. He was a Muslim, and we had the conversation about that he used to say all the time um that other nationalities was actually born out of us.
Yeah.
Well, he used to
That's why they
always
call
say that.
Africa the motherland.
Right. He's saying, how they always talk about the caves and things like that. He said, if you ever look at the history of cavemen, he said the caveman is not is not
It's animal.
the look of a African American. It's actually the look of a Caucasian. Is if you ever look at it, you will see what he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember working with somebody that used to wear flip flops. They used to wear sandals, and every time they wore these sandals, their feet looked um like monkey feet to me.
Oh
They had
wow.
they had like monkey feet, and I mentioned that to this person, and he said it's because the real caveman is not us. That's what he said. And
Mm.
I was like, oh wow. And so one day he brought this book to me, and in the book it shows you, it tells you, so if you get into the, like, reading some of the things that the nation offers to you and stuff like that, it'll tell you a lot of it explains a lot of things, because it was so much when he was teaching me so much knowledge about the history of us that it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even funny.
Yeah.
So, and I say that to say, so why do why do they hate our color so badly? You know, that this young man goes into a
Grocery
grocery
store.
store and kill 10 of us. 10
Mm-hmm.
of us. And he shot at one of the Caucasian guys and apologized to him.
Yeah.
He said, I'm sorry. You know, do we really deserve all the stuff that we get as
No.
African American people? Do we
No.
really deserve that? We get it from the not we get it from this kind of stuff. We get it from the police, we get it from, just
Everybody.
everybody. So what is it about our skin that you hate so much? I know that we're good at a lot of things. I know that's one of the problems, is because if you look at the baseball teams, the football teams, the basketball team,
Yeah. There's nothing that we
uh,
have not been able to play that we don't
they and
dominate.
right, exactly. Golf. They thought that that was their game. Well, Tiger showed them something differently for that. But
Even though for a while he wasn't even recognized, didn't want to even acknowledge his own
oh no, he didn't.
blackness.
He didn't. And it's a lot of them that's like that. That's the sad
Mm-hmm.
part. But it's not the part that really hurts the most is it's not so much as that um it's not so much as that it's just them. Sometimes it's us too. We're
Yeah,
taking away
it,
our
it's
own
it's
people
a
out of
two-sided
here.
situation. And I think for me, I think what irritates me is the fact that who's that? Somebody said our skin color, those who will never understand, or our skin color is a threat to those who will never understand or want to bother to understand us. That is very true. I said that to
Yeah.
a supervisor one day,
Yeah,
and
that's
she
true.
and she told me, she said, well, Margaret, if it's she said, if somebody have a problem with your skin color, then they're not a Christian. And then not even 20 minutes later, she goes, well, that goes both ways. And I'm like, okay. I
Mhm.
said, so what she was what she was saying didn't matter, because you already knew what you was thinking. You just said that to make it seem like, to give me to supposedly be comfort to me at that moment. But
Mhm.
what your real motive and your real thought, you said it afterwards. You
Yeah,
know.
she told you what she really felt.
Yeah,
She was telling you
exactly.
what she really felt after the whole situation was said and done. She
Yeah,
really was telling you how she really felt.
yeah, and
And
because that was during the George Floyd situation, and I was upset about it.
has nothing to do with
No, it doesn't.
Christianity. No, it doesn't.
It
You're
doesn't.
absolutely
But
right.
a lot of them like to say that. They like to think, you know. But I think what they and the reality of it is, I see other races that have a problem with us, and they don't understand that they don't like
It's
them either. So
yeah,
how you think that you have a pass? No, you don't have a pass either.
no, because they don't
Because
like
they
you
they
no more than
target
they
you
like
too.
us. That's
Yeah,
right.
you
That's
know.
right. They got names for y'all just like they got names for us. You
Hmm.
know, and
It is
it's
out of ignorance. They
yeah,
don't. You
yeah.
know.
And it's so sad. It's sad that we have to even tolerate stuff like that. You know, in honor of those people, I wanted to put their names up here on the screen, all the people that we lost. And look at the ages from
Yeah.
32 to 86 years of age.
Yeah.
That is
And
so
that was
sad.
similar to
But I
the
pray for
shooting that
those
happened here.
families. I want
And
to, say a prayer for those
hmm
families that lost their loved ones and stuff. And I'm sorry for you guys. I feel I'm sorry that there's so much ignorance in the world. I pray that God give you the strength to keep on moving forward. I pray
hmm
that healing come over you guys, that you get the healing that you need and all the help that you may need or whatever the case may be to get through this, because it's unacceptable. It's
yeah.
unacceptable and it needs to stop. It
Yeah.
really needs to stop. Not only do we have to worry about those people killing us. We still got to worry about our own people killing each other as
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
and
I,
that's sad.
I think that thing that irritates me the most when I hear about these mass shootings is every time I look around, they are taken in alive. But you stop a black man and he just getting reaching for his wallet to show you his
And you
license
kill
and you
them.
shut and you light him up.
Yep. You
I
kill
don't
them.
understand that. How is it just okay for you to do that to them? And all he was doing is trying to get his license or get his
Hmm.
registration in the car, and all of a sudden you feel threatened. But this man
Right in
coming
front of
out,
his family.
yeah,
Right in front of his family, a baby that's gonna be a nightmare for that baby for the rest of their
yeah.
life. You know.
It's like I'm like, come on, people, like stop giving excuses for evil and for wickedness, because eventually
Hmm.
you're gonna have to one day meet your maker, the same one that we all came from, and
Hmm.
so you're gonna have to answer for that,
Yeah.
and that's the reality that some people don't seem to understand. You will have to answer for those things. And the
Oh, yeah.
ones who say, I don't hate black people. I have friends and this and that. It has nothing to do with whether you got a friend that's black or white or whatever. It's the point is you have to be able to stand up for what is right when it comes
Well,
to
it's right
race.
and wrong. Yep.
If it's
Exactly.
wrong,
Like
it's wrong. If it
wrong.
cracks
Yep.
like a duck, it's a duck. If it's
Yep.
if it's acting like it's got issues with black folk or any other race, it's wrong. And I don't care
Yeah.
what a person says. You
Yeah,
know,
because if the police officers would step in when they see other officers doing wrong, if they would step in and stop that stuff from happening, we wouldn't have that happening.
Mm-mm.
So this man gets to walk out of there. They put him in handcuffs, but they see this man with the guns that he had.
Mm-hmm.
But you let him walk out of there. You let him go to jail, but you done killed all those other people
Mm-hmm.
because of what?
Innocent for no reason.
Yeah. And it's sad. It's sad how, us as, African Americans, we have to really tolerate that kind of stuff. And it's sad. It's very sad.
And
But
it's
it's
really
not
mentally, it's really draining
draining. Yeah. It's like you
because
see a police officer now. Every time I see a police officer now, something inside my body I just get nervous. It's
mhm,
like, okay, I know I ain't doing nothing wrong, but I'm just nervous because it's not that they're just targeting the black men anymore. They're targeting us
the
all
black
now.
women, yeah, they are.
You
And
know?
and the thing about it is, it's unfortunate that you can't even look at them if you're in your
Mm-mm.
car.
Mm-mm.
They automatically assume
Assume you
you're a
up
threat
to
to them.
something. Yep.
I'm like, nobody thinking about you. I'm looking at you like I look at a regular motorist, you know.
Yep.
But it's just so much stuff. There's so much hatred, and it's like, come on, it's hatred is not born, it's taught.
Yep.
And until we come to understand that, it won't go anywhere, because
No.
people keep on giving it an excuse and giving it a pass. No, you can't keep giving something a pass and giving something an excuse when you know it's wrong.
Yep.
It's wrong. You can't there's no two ways about it. It's wrong.
Yep.
I was
And
like, I mean, I didn't do nothing to you. All I did is exist. My color is a problem for you. I don't understand why. You know,
yeah,
I
it's
know that
sad.
our race contribute to almost everything we people use to in this world. Every time there's not too much that is used that we use in our everyday lives that a black person didn't invent.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though it was taken from them and the
Oh,
patent was
and given
given.
to somebody else.
Yeah,
Yep. Somebody else took it and stole they ideals and this and that and
yeah.
they got the credit for it and stuff like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And see, another thing is that we as African Americans, we thinking while you sleeping a lot of times, and it's
Hmm.
because we always in survival mode. I don't care what
Yep.
nobody say. We're always in survival mode. So we got to be thinking while you trying to figure it out. We done already figured it out in most
Yep.
cases.
Yep. And it's so sad.
It's
They
just some
come
of them don't
and
use it
nowhere
for
is
the right
safe
thing
anymore.
sometimes.
Nowhere is safe anymore. Our kids aren't safe in their schools.
Mm-mm,
They're not you're not safe in church anymore. You're not safe in the grocery store. It's
mm-mm,
like, okay, so you ain't even safe driving your car no
mm-mm.
more, you
No,
know.
that's true, because I wouldn't seen I heard about something that happened with a young lady. She just driving. I think it was in Atlanta, I'm not sure, but it was a young lady that the guy I think he either pulled the gun her on her or shot at her or something like that. But it was just unnecessary. I'm like, come on, people,
Yeah.
it's not
So
right. It's not okay. It's
no,
not
it's not.
okay. It's like I said, you cannot believe it if you don't want to. He said, but when your soul leave that body, you're gonna have to answer for the stuff you did. I don't care. You ain't just going into the ground and it's over with. You're gonna have to answer for all that foolishness. You
Yep.
know, you're gonna have to.
Yep.
One way or the other, you're gonna have to. It's like, we can't keep on ignoring it. We can't keep on, and we,
Hmm.
we we have the marches and everything. But
Yeah.
sometimes you're gonna have to just get to the point where you really are tired of marching. You really tired of trying to understand. You just want some these things to just stop. Just
Yep.
stop. Leave us alone. We ain't do nothing to nobody. We minding our own business.
Yep.
Just
Yeah, but the sad part is they see us like some of us see each other though,
that's true.
because
We do
we see
sometimes
each other.
feel
Yeah,
a
we
threat.
hate on our own self. We hate on our own people because of Johnny Sue got they got a better car than I got. So now I'm
Hmm.
hating on her because of that. And
Hmm.
it's sad that it's because we hating against each other already, it just makes it easy for other nationalities to hate against us as well, you know,
Hmm.
and not
I
like
just
us for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think like the other thing is what irritates me is like if I come into your store and I'm coming in there to purchase my things just like anybody else,
Mhm.
how is it that you find me a threat when basically predominantly most of us are the ones who's in your store in some of these predominantly black neighborhoods?
Yep.
We're the ones who's keeping your bills paid, but yet you want to watch us like like everybody to come in there is coming to steal something from you.
Yep. And it's so funny you said that because you know what? That's the reason why I don't shop in certain stores to this
Yeah,
day,
me either. Me either.
because of that very reason. So if I need a hair product, I'm not going and I don't patronize those kind of business because I've
No.
seen the stuff that they've actually done to
Mm-hmm.
people of color because you look like it. So they just assume that you're coming in there to steal something from them. So
Mm-hmm.
now they attacking you and they following you around the store and this and that. I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm going to the
Mm-hmm.
store to shop. I don't want you following me around the store and
And it's
stuff.
like come and
You know,
ask you a question,
and yeah, exactly. So when I do come to ask you a question, now you can't answer my question because you're too busy trying to watch and see what
See,
I'm
if I
doing.
yeah, and
Yeah,
if I
and
picked up something and put it back, all
yeah,
you automatically assume that I
assume that
took
I
it.
took it.
It's
Yeah.
like no, I don't. It's like no. I was like, I'm not giving you my money for you to insult me too. No, I ain't
Yeah,
doing that. I ain't doing
exactly.
it.
So I don't go in certain stores, and that's the reason why I don't go into certain stores because of that very reason. I remember
Hmm.
going into somebody's store and they did that to me, and I have not been back there since. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna give you a chance. I will give you a
Hmm.
chance, but if you do me like that, where I feel uncomfortable, or I feel like you're picking with me because of the color of my skin, yeah, I'm not gonna patronize your store. I'm not,
Hmm.
and I'm far from being racist. You know,
Hmm.
I never been
It's like
racist.
it's
You
the
know,
principle of the whole matter. If
it's
you
the
think that
yeah,
I'm a threat to your
yep,
to the products that you're selling,
yep,
then why are you selling them? That you because most
hmm,
of the stuff you're selling is geared towards African American.
yeah,
So we're gonna come in there. So why would you sit up there and not only that, why you come in my neighborhood in the first place?
yep,
That's who's gonna come in there. So if you got a
yep.
problem with that, then don't open
Don't
your store
make sure that
in our
in our
neighborhood.
neighborhoods,
Go in
yeah,
somebody else's neighborhood,
yeah.
but they're not
But
gonna do that.
But the sad part about that is, see, back in the day, I remember back in the day when we owned our own stores and stuff. We
Yeah, and they
owned
burned them
stuff,
down.
and no, it wasn't so much as they burnt them down. It
Some
wasn't
of them
that.
did.
Well, no, I'm not saying that they burnt them down because that's not what really happened. What
Hmm.
really happened is we just didn't take care of it. We didn't support it like we should have, And so a lot of those places they got closed down, and
Hmm.
guess who took over it? Those are the people. And you know
Yeah.
what they do? And a lot of people don't know this, but when you see certain businesses, they turn over to another person, it's
Mm-hmm.
another family member taking over. They
That's
have
it.
like a process that they do. So
Yep.
one year you might see so and so in there, and it's owned by this person. Then next year it's owned by another one of their family members, because those it's like what is it called, the like loans or something that they get
Mm-hmm.
like this particular these minority loans or something, and after so many years they're only allowed to hold on to it for like maybe I think a year or two in their name. Then they have to switch it over to another family member, and that's how the other family member get
Is
it.
that based on the visa?
Yeah, it has something to do with their visa. Every week. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Manny. Yeah, and so what they do is they switch it over to the next of kin. Then the next of kin switch it over to another kinfolk
Mm-hmm.
in the following year. So they only allowed to hold it for I think a year or something like that in their name. Then they switch it over to another kinfolk, and the process goes on and on and on for them. So
Mm-hmm.
it's easier for them. It's just like loans. It's
Mm-hmm.
easier for them to get a loan than it is for us. You
Yeah,
know,
I know. Trust me,
um,
I know. I've been there.
yeah, I remember somebody. I remember some. And this is the crazy part. They can get a loan without a job. We
Yep.
can't. We can't
Mm-hmm.
get a loan without a job.
Not only
They're
that,
gonna they're
with
gonna give
us,
us a
they not
hard
only want
time with
us to
it.
have a job, but
Right.
they want all these credentials to
Mm-hmm.
prove where that money come from. Now, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if you didn't give them a pay stub. Oh, I need a
Yep.
pay stub for 6 months. Or I need a pay stub for a whole year. And
Yep.
and if you change job, well, you have to be on that job for at least 6 months to a year before we can use that as income.
Yep.
Well, how come he was able to get it and he just came here?
Yep.
Well, it's different. No, I want to hear it. I want to hear
Yeah.
it. I never get the time I went and applied. We was trying to do a business. Like I said in the last show, we was trying to do a business, and they told us that we didn't have enough collateral to purchase this sub shop. So
Mm-hmm.
we went and did our own thing. Created our own restaurant for a few years. But the point was, you mean to tell me I didn't have enough collateral, even though I had my own home at the time. I didn't have enough collateral to even get a loan for $40,000. I'm like,
No.
come on now, that's almost like. And back in them days, that was like a 2 or 3 car payment, because the cars wasn't as expensive as they are now. Now one
Yeah.
car can cost you $40,000 now.
Yeah. They
You
done
know, but
jacked the prices up even more now
yeah.
since we in this recession. Yeah.
Hmm. So it's like, but it's just I just have a I have a problem with when you discriminate against me for no reason, and you really don't have no real reason why. If somebody asked you, the first thing I heard somebody say this one time it was on a Facebook post, and it was a young lady that she was arguing with her parents, and she said, "Why do you have a problem with them?" And her parents was like, "Because they're lazy." If I remember correctly, most of the time we're the ones that during this pandemic was working when other people was in at home.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of us ended up with that sickness
And it's
because they were
because of
still on these jobs trying to take
and
care of their families,
yep.
and they losing their life in the process. So
Yep.
when you want to call somebody lazy, put it where it belongs. Because I'm not lazy, not at all.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of other ones of us that's not. It's just that um, we always the first ones that they always want to put in certain categories. No, we're not always. All of us are not confrontational either. You
No.
know,
Yeah.
a lot of times they assume the first thing they say is, "Oh, they I felt threatened. I felt threatened." The man saying, "What about those who left projects and became dependent on their projects, even though we work 2 jobs because our rent goes up, our income goes up, we can't yes, to get out of the hood on top of not having any established credit together." Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. That's true.
That's
That's
very
so
true.
very
And
true.
that's a
Yep.
lot of that happening right today, where people are working two jobs, trying to make ends meet,
That's me. Yep.
trying to pull themselves up and
Yep.
pull themselves out of some of the of the projects or the neighborhood or the hood or whatever you want to call it, because we all somewhat came from somewhere, and but it's like oh, you need to get this or you need to get that. Trust me, I'm telling you, I've been there. I understand exactly what it's like when for somebody to keep telling you, well, you need to get this, you need that, and then somebody else will come around with a 500 and something credit score, and all of a sudden they qualified, and you got 600 and something, and you ain't qualified. I'm
Right.
like, please tell me how come that's fair,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
And
You
some of them
working
tell you,
2
well, it's
jobs
because your
and
debt to
doing
income ratio. No, it's not. It ain't got
yeah.
nothing to do with my debt to
Do
income ratio.
yeah. But you working 2 jobs and you working hard to make sure that you get ahead. You trying to make sure that you get ahead. You trying to provide for your family. You trying to get them out of certain communities that they're in and oh, we lazy though. We lazy. That's what they say.
Yeah, it's like I'm like I know working in what I worked in and for years, it used to irritate me because the very persons who used to say you're the ones that's lazy was the ones who would sit there and would do absolutely nothing
Mhm.
while you breaking your neck trying to get things done. They sitting
Mhm.
there, and then the first time you ask them a question, oh, I thought you had it. What do you mean you thought I had it? We're supposed to be doing this together. We're supposed to be working on getting this project done together. So it just I just never understand that term when I used to hear that. Oh, they're lazy. They're lazy. No, they're not. We're not.
Yeah.
We're
Exactly.
we just as progressive as anybody else. We just that some things that we do. I think the thing for us is that we are always we're so in our nature we're so creative.
Yeah.
We find out a way. I don't care what it is, but we are so creative. Our brains is always finding a way to click on what. I don't care what it is, we will figure it out somehow to make
Mhm.
ends meet. And that's something that even our parents did back in the day. you know when you think back on families that raised kids that was 10 had 8 and 10 and 16 kids and all this, and yet they made it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, say no. I say no. It takes a lot to be able to keep a meal on the table to take care of 10 kids or 16 kids or 20 kids. People have a lot of people who have a lot of children, but yet they did what they had to do to make ends meet and take care of.
Make it
And then
work.
on top of that, back in the day in the hood, you had you not only was your mom trying to help you, trying to take care of her, but she was also looking out for the neighborhood kids. You
Yep.
know,
Yep. I remember those days. We used to
so
get
it's like,
mad. We used to get mad. Dad would bring these popsicles or ice cream and stuff, and then the neighborhood kids come like,
the
okay,
same
they
ones that
see,
want to beat you up and the
yeah.
same
Now
ones
they
trying
in
to get
line.
your
They
stuff.
getting their popsicles and your ice cream, but that was the way we was raised. Mom be like, we still you have more than somebody else, and she used to
Hmm.
always say that and be like, I don't know how.
Yeah,
Be saying ourselves, I don't know how. Tomorrow we gonna have crackers. We gonna be
yeah.
eating on crackers and water.
And the funniest thing, when you think back, you think, oh man, I was poor. I didn't know it because you
Mm-mm.
really didn't. You really
No,
didn't. You didn't really understand it. You really didn't know it because as a
until
kid,
you
you
get
still
older.
had food, you had
Yeah,
clothes,
you
and the
didn't know
Christmas
how they
time.
made it happen, but they made it
Yeah,
happen. Yep,
you
they
know.
made it
So it's
happen though.
like but it is. I think when it comes down to the issue of racism, I think if people would take a step back and look at themselves and say, "How would I like it if I was in their shoes?
Hmm.
How would I
A
like
lot,
it?
a lot of
Would
them
I want
wouldn't be
to?"
able to handle what we handle.
No, no, they
They
would not at
wouldn't be
all.
able to handle it
They would
because,
not at
you
all
know,
because
um, I remember when I was a kid. I remember when we used to go to like the zoo and things like that, and go to these different on these field trips and stuff. And you would have the Caucasians here and the African American schools here, and then and they
they would
used to
stare
have a
at you.
yeah, they would stare at us like, wow. But this is because this is what they are taught. taught. This stuff is
Mhm.
taught to them. It's not something you were born with. You weren't raised that. You weren't born that way where
Mm-mm.
you hating people. You weren't born that way because God sends his angels down here, and the children are angels.
Mhm.
They are the angels that God sent down here. So you're not born like that. It's a mindset that is taught to the children by the parents,
Yeah, exactly.
or cousins or uncles or whoever, because sometimes you'll find that the parents are not, some of them parents are not, it's their kinfolks that is.
Yeah.
And so they're teaching it to their kids when they have those kids under their care, they're teaching it to them, you
Yeah.
know. Like this young man, he drove all those miles just to go to a grocery store to kill all those people. That
Hmm.
that didn't
Just
make
like
no
Dylan
sense to
Roof, he did
me.
the same thing. He drove all the
Which
way from
one?
wherever he came
With
from,
the one
promised
with the
nothing.
church? Is you?
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's sad. It's sad that
My
that
question to his family, his parents is, you mean to tell me you didn't know what your son was going and what
oh,
he
they
was doing?
knew.
And not only that, how did he purchase that gun and nobody knew that he had it? Because you
Yeah,
had to get the ammunition
yeah,
and all this stuff. Now, how somebody gonna bring? Because I know back in the day, you ain't gonna have nothing in your room that your mama didn't know you had.
yeah.
So I
Exactly.
don't understand how people are saying, "Oh, well, no," and nowadays people are so quick to say, "Oh, we want to have our children to have their freedom. We don't want to be imposing
Yeah.
on their rights." Wait a minute, are they paying some bills? Are
Hmm.
they paying some
Manny
bills?
said, "Why is always the ones with the privilege, crying victim?" You
Exactly.
absolutely right. And look, it was a guy that was on Instagram yesterday. He was talking about the same thing. He said he was going off. It was a Caucasian guy. He was going off, and he was like, "So how does this man walks away in handcuffs, but you killed all these other black people?" Is what
Yep.
he said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy thing. The funny thing is, it's just as many Caucasian people is sick of this crap as it is of us.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
sick
So
of
I
seeing
don't
this
I don't put
happen
them all
too.
in the same group.
No,
It's
no.
because some of them are truly are tired of it.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
tired
and
of
it,
it too.
you
And just
know,
listening to that man, he was angry. He was
yeah.
angry, and it was just it felt good, the fact that he
Somebody was standing up.
stand up for us. Yeah. And it's like this just it's just ridiculous. It's so scary out here. It's like, okay, so yesterday I was going to the grocery store, and I see the police officer sitting in a cut. So, I get nervous every time I see a police officer, knowing I ain't did nothing wrong or nothing like that. It's just that I start thinking about the ladies that have gotten killed during
Hmm.
a
Sandra Bland and
simple,
all them.
yeah, a simple traffic stop,
Hmm.
and just and it makes you so nervous and paranoid every time you see it, when you see one of them driving past. It was a time when I was younger, popo meant something. It was, oh yeah, they're gonna police you, everything cool, and we're gonna be all right, and this and that. Now it's like, I don't know, because this could turn out really bad, and it's scary. It's so
Hmm.
scary. And then it show you, they show you this, and what happened in that store and stuff, and this guy gets to walk away scot free
And
like
then,
that.
and if you saw him on the news when they had showed him coming into court, he came into court with just he had the handcuffs on his hands and in front of him. Normally,
Yeah.
they put the handcuffs
No, they
on
put them
on behind you,
behind you.
and he walked in there all carefree, like it wasn't no big deal to him. And I'm like, how is it you get to walk in here like it's no big deal of what you just did, while these people got
Mhm.
to mourn and bury their loved ones all because of your stupidity and because you was angry for what? Why?
Yeah.
It's not right.
No,
And
it's
I
not
wish that
right.
somebody, and I'm gonna put it just like this: I wish that some of these people out here, these political leaders, and I wish some of these church leaders, and some of these people who are out here thinking that, oh, this is not about race. I wish they would start standing up for what is right and stop sugarcoating it, it ain't gonna change unless they start changing it themselves. Because a lot of times, people, they know they got some of those people in their own congregations, and they don't say nothing.
He said, innocent until you're proven guilty unless you're not white. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to say that,
exactly.
but it's the optics that are being
It's
down
true.
shown. Yep, you right.
You're
You're right.
absolutely right, Manny. It's the truth. It's the truth, and it's sad, but it's true. And I remember one time I asked somebody. I said, what is it about the color of my skin that makes you so nervous? They couldn't even answer me that. Couldn't
Mhm.
answer it. Well, I don't. I'm not afraid of. I'm like, no. I said, but what is it about the color of my skin that makes you all so
Mhm.
nervous?
Yep.
I said, I don't get it. I said, I don't understand it. Just doesn't make sense to me. I said,
Yep.
and the funny thing about it is, every time I look around, somebody crossing over to get with one of us. So you should like,
Yeah.
it's our fault.
The crazy part was I remember working with somebody that because I had my arms folded while I'm listening to them talk, he said that that was a threat. I said that was a threat because I had my arms folded. He said, "Yeah, you that made the situation seem like you're hostile." I said, "Huh? I ain't never heard of no SH like that. So what is you
Mhm.
talking about?" He said that because I had my hands folded, my
Yeah, because
arms
they
folded
assume
like
that
that,
you're in a
that I
stance
was
of
hostile.
defensive mode, and you're getting that
Yeah.
you're gonna retaliate,
Yeah.
because you fold your hands.
Yep, he said I was hostile because of that, because I had my arms folded like that. And I was like, I cannot believe this. I said, because I got my arms folded, I'm hostile now, huh? He said, yeah. He said that's what it looked like. You look like you're hostile right now. I said, oh no. I'm calmer than you would ever see a person be while they're getting insulted by somebody like you. That's what I told him. I said,
Hmm.
because I said, no, that ain't a part of my style. I'm not gonna go off on some craziness like that. I said, but you can believe what you want to believe, and if that's what you believe, that's your opinion. You're
Hmm.
entitled to it. But I was not hostile at all, you know. But what I found also though is, like I said, it's just we don't only get discriminated by other nationalities. We get discriminated by our own. You know,
Yeah, big time.
if because you got a little bit, do you look like you got a little bit going on for
A little
yourself?
extra.
We don't want to see
Oh, you
you
think you all
advance.
that?
Yeah, we don't want to see you advance. We don't want to see you do well in your career or in your life or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna take your job away from you because you look like you already doing well for yourself already. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And that
Hmm.
and that's
I've
not right
seen it.
either.
I've
That
seen it.
yeah.
It's like they celebrate other people, but if you got something extra,
Mhm.
how she get that? What do you mean? How did I get that? Same way
Yeah.
you got yours. You working just like I am. So how is it? How did you get? Like, come
Yep.
on now.
Yep.
And I mean, I've seen that. I've seen that so many times. It's ridiculous. And sometimes I just laugh it off because I'm like, I better laugh to keep from crying or laugh to keep from clocking. Because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, there are times when I do. I've had to say, okay, Lord, I'm gonna have to walk away from this one. Because if I don't,
Mhm.
yeah.
You know the sad part though about this whole thing, this whole situation is, so we'll get out there and we'll march today, tomorrow, or whatever day where they decide to march, and it still changes nothing.
Mm-mm.
It changes nothing. It seems like if anything, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It seems like it just makes matters worse. But each and every week, I listen to the news every weekend after the weekend is over on Saturdays and Sundays. They tell you they give you this count of how many people done died in your community in the city or the suburbs of Illinois. Every week, it's a lot of people done died. But guess what? It's not because of the other people done killed us. It's because we killing ourselves. We killing
Hmm.
each other. And
Yeah.
so
So
we
they don't
have to
value us
first
no
of
more than
all,
we value
right,
us. That's the problem.
exactly. So we have to stop the killing in our own neighborhoods first.
Hmm.
And then
And
maybe
start putting
we'll get
value back on
right,
each other
right.
instead of sitting up there. Oh, I got a beef with you, and this my turf. No, we all living in these
Yeah.
neighborhoods.
Yep.
we all want to let's see our kids grow up and do well. Why is why do you have a problem with um this person just because they decide that they want to go to that school or they wore this color? I'm like, come on now, we got to stop it somewhere. We have to,
Yeah.
because that's the first thing they say. Or y'all killing each other, so
Why we
why
will.
y'all got a problem with us doing it?
Yeah. I remember when we was kids and we first moved into the neighborhood we lived in, it was probably, I think it was three black families on our block or something like that. It was only three of us in the neighborhood, and the rest was Caucasian people
And Hispanic.
and Hispanic, right? And I remember that it was the few African Americans that was in the community, they were fighting against the um, Latinos at the time. They was fighting
Mm-hmm.
against these, not realizing that honestly, in my honest opinion, we are all the same,
Mm-hmm.
because where they said we're black, you're brown. So either if you're black or you're brown, we don't they they don't like either one of us, you
Mm-mm.
know. So I never understood that part. I never understood why do we fight against each other like that, you know? And
And we're
why do they think
constantly
there's
doing
so
it
much?
too.
Yeah,
And it's like, and like, come on, people, grow up. It's
yeah.
time out for that. And then some of us, because some of the young people are growing up by themselves, and the streets are raising them, and they don't have the guidance that they need.
Hmm.
So but then you got some who
We're
raised
raised by their
themselves,
parents.
and some of them are doing well for themselves. Some of them learned it from their mistakes. They're trying to
Hmm.
do better. But it's just, I just wish they would just come to understand that we're all of our lives are precious. All of our lives is important. We all have a purpose in this life, and whatever that purpose is, only God knows what it is. And when you seek Him and ask Him for the guidance and direction, then He can show you what your purpose is. And your purpose is not to be taking somebody out because they don't look like you, and because they don't think the color of their skin is different than
Hmm.
yours. We all are red, and when you cut us, so why is it that you think it's okay? I mean, there have been people who have had transplants that ended up with a black person's body
Hmm.
part, and they didn't even know it.
Hmm.
So you sit up there getting mad at one person, but that might have been the very person who saved your life.
Yeah. You ever seen that episode on the Jeffersons where the white guy was finna die, and then when he realized when they brought him, they saved his life. They showed him who had saved his life, and he
Oh yeah,
found out that it was George that saved his life. He told him they should have let him
let
die.
him die. Yep,
Yeah, I
yep.
was
I
like,
saw that one.
wow, that's some deep crap there.
Hmm.
And it's just it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It just we cover it up. We
But
we try to
I
forget
think
about it, but
if
we
they
don't do anything. Nothing's happening for it.
if they really if the people really 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 honestly believe in a higher power, they wouldn't do the stuff they're doing. But a
No.
lot of people have this figmentation that they think, oh yeah, I do believe in some respects, but I'm not really sure. Because if you knew that one day you got to answer for all the stuff that you've done, you be careful about doing it. But a lot of people don't see it that way. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you've had some people who did stuff back in the way back in the day, that wait until they almost getting ready to meet their maker, and then they want to make amends, and they want to
Yep.
start emptying out the
The
conscience.
touch. Yep.
You
I'm
know,
sorry. I'm sorry
yeah.
I did so and so and so and so to you. I know I shouldn't have did it, but you did it. You did it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been forgave you, because if I didn't forgive you, guess what? My blessings will not continue on.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So those people that be thinking that, oh, you hurt holding a grudge, I'm holding a grudge against you. I'm not holding a grudge against you,
Mm-mm.
because my blessings does not come when I hold a grudge against you for something you did to me foul.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm not
one thing I
I'm
know
not
for
angry
sure,
with nobody.
when you turn the other cheek really, and you just say, you know what, okay, Lord, you're gonna have to deal with this, because if flesh get in the way, I'm gonna get in trouble. So
Yep.
I'm gonna walk this off, and I'm gonna let you
Mhm.
handle it. Because I've seen situations where the person that tried to do me dirty had to come back and apologize.
Yep.
So it's like, so I know that when you do step back and say, okay, Lord, you handle this, and you honestly turn it over to him, he will fix it.
Yep.
It's just that we have so many things that is going on in this country that we're 1 minute we say we believe, next minute we don't know what we believe. And you can't be like that. You can't be wavering. You're gonna be a believer or you're not. You
Yep.
can't be a believer in saying that you think is right for this, but you think is wrong for that. And a lot of
Mhm.
times, like just like when all the things that happened with George Floyd, for instance, there was a lot of people was angry with some of the churches for a
Mhm.
while because they were saying that they didn't understand how some of the churches was, of that's not of our race, was supporting stuff like this,
Mhm.
and wouldn't stand out against it. So you gotta understand, you gotta understand, God is going to judge the just as well as the unjust. So you
Mhm.
better make sure you on the just side and not on the unjust side, because trust me, when that judgment day come for all of us, we all got to stand before that one God, and he gonna open up that book of life. And when he does, if you got blood on your hands, you better watch out, especially if you didn't repent for it. Some
Yep.
people don't like to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They'll, oh, I don't believe in all that. You ain't got to believe it. You'll believe it when you see it. You'll believe it when you're
Yep.
standing right in front of them. Because you're going
Yep.
to see a just God, one way or the other. One way or
Yep.
the other. And I think that's why we have been so quick to give forgiveness, because we know it ain't about us. We ain't going to be, we can't judge him, because we know God's going to do it.
Yep.
That's why the people here, when that happened here in South Carolina, that's when they were saying, you know what, they forgave him, because they
Mhm.
know there's nothing that they can do.
No. It's
But
it's
nothing
not
they
your
can
fight.
do.
It's not your
Yeah.
battle to fight to begin
No.
with. It's just like how they did that though in that church. That guy did in church. They said that those people welcomed him with open arms and everything else, and he
Mm-hmm.
still came in there and killed all those people in there. So
Mm-hmm.
you pick our churches to go to do this kind of stuff. I mean,
And
that's
then there
just.
was another one with the at an Asian church, where it was an
Mhm.
Asian guy that went to an Asian church, but it was a visiting pastor, because all this happened the other day. It was in California. It was a visiting pastor who hit him with a chair, and that's when the other parishioners grabbed him, and then they hogtied him.
Really?
Yeah, this was at an Asian church. And
Wow.
so they was able to subdue him. I think he killed one person. I think he ended up killing one person, and I think a few other people were injured. But the one with Buffalo overshadowed that one. But they still talked about both of them, because they said actually 5 shootings happened this weekend.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I heard it was another shooting somewhere.
So I'm like, I
Something
say,
else
when we
had
gonna
happened.
realize that that is that violence don't solve anything. It doesn't.
No, it don't.
It
It
doesn't.
don't.
It doesn't
It,
solve anything. We gotta understand. You know, time is winding up. It really is. Time
yeah.
is getting shorter and shorter every day.
Yeah, somebody was telling me that there's like, well, Lucifer is loose on earth. That's what's going on. That's why
Hmm.
you're hearing so much about this, because Lucifer is loose. And it was like, and so the demonic spirits are getting into bodies and their minds and stuff like that.
Hmm. It is. It is, and
Yep.
that's the thing that some don't seem to understand. It is. We are in trouble in this country.
We're in a war that we can't fight.
Mm-mm,
We're in a battle that we can't fight. We
mm-mm.
can't see it, first of all. You can't see it. You only
That's why you
see
got to
it
put
when
prayer
things
on it.
happen. Yep, when things happen. So you basically in a battle that you can't see, you know,
Hmm.
because it's so much stuff is happening. I remember this movie that I watched years ago. It's called Fallen, with Denzel Washington. And in that movie, the spirits was jumping from body to body to
Yep,
body.
and
And
that's
they
true. That is true.
and it, yeah, and I truly believe that's what's happening right now. The
Hmm.
spirits are jumping from body to body to body, and
Hmm.
and it's
That's why they say
overpowering
when
what's
people,
going on in the
just
world.
like this, just like when you were in church and the pastor is praying for somebody that's getting delivered, you better plead the blood of Jesus. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, because
yeah.
when that spirit leave, he looking for another body to
Body,
dwell.
a soul that's
He,
not
yeah,
saved, and it does not
and
truly
it
believe in
ain't
the
paying
Lord.
attention.
Right.
Because if you focused on that person, I remember one time we was in church and my pastor was doing that, and I said to my sister, I said, you better stop praying. You better plead the blood of Jesus. I said, because when that spirit come out, it's gonna come on. It's gonna get on somebody, and you definitely don't want it to get in your house. I said,
Hmm.
everybody stop pleading the blood of Jesus. I said, because I'm telling you, and and that's the thing. Some people don't think, they think, oh, I don't believe in all that. You don't have to believe it, but you're gonna deal with, you're gonna see it one day,
Yeah.
because it's true. Those the spirits, there's demonic spirits out here, and they don't care
Hmm.
where they are. They don't care
Yeah.
who they attach themselves to.
Hmm.
That's why you got to constantly pray over your kids.
And it's very important to make sure that you don't let everybody in your house. And that's the
Oh yeah,
reason why.
definitely.
It's very important. I remember when we first moved in our home, I remember somebody came in my home and they left a bad spirit behind. And how
Mm-hmm.
I found out was because the first thing that a spirit does is attacks the young first.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was like, she was a little bitty thing at the time. She's probably about 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old. And I remember her waking up every night about the same time, screaming and hollering. She'd be screaming and hollering. Then she'd be sitting in this chair, in the rocking chair, just sitting there crying. And they're like, what's the matter? She go, you didn't see it, mommy, you didn't see it. And so, and I remember I went through the whole house and I had to anoint my house,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to pray through the whole house to remove whatever it was that somebody had left behind. See, people will bring a spirit into your house because they're angry. They don't like what they see. They jealous of what you have and stuff. And sometimes they'll leave those spirits behind.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know
whoever it was,
exactly
they
what you
left
mean.
the spirit behind, and it was attacking my child. So when
Mm-hmm.
I went into her room that night, I never forget it because I went into the room and I started praying and I started pleading the blood of Jesus. That spirit was so angry, it hit the windows, head boom. That window hit, and the window wasn't even open. It wasn't windy outside or nothing. I
Mm-hmm.
knew what it was. It was the
Mm-hmm.
spirit leaving because he was angry, because I was
Mm-hmm.
letting him know that this house was covered by the blood of Jesus, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't like it. But
Nope.
whoever it was, they left that spirit behind. And I learned. And so after that, I stopped having them parties at my house. I
Yep.
stopped having people come over my house and stuff. So if you're not invited in my house, then I'm not going to invite you in my house,
Mm-mm.
because
That's why I don't have people
people
coming to my house.
leave spirits behind. There are,
Mm-hmm.
I had one more event, and with these young ladies, and somebody left a spirit behind then too. And I already knew what it was from. It was because
Mm-hmm.
of jealousy again, and
Mm-hmm.
same thing happened. And I had to go through my house again and do it
Mm-hmm.
again all over again. It was like this. You could see the smoke, you could see the bugs, you
Yep.
could see the everything. You
Not
could
only that,
see
you
it,
can feel the
the
heat.
snakes and everything. Yeah, the heat. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you could hear it. You could hear them bugs just flying around and the smoke and stuff. And I'm like, oh Lord, somebody left something behind. Somebody left
Mm-hmm.
a spirit behind. But that stuff is for real. Those
Mm-hmm.
spirits jump from body to body. People who don't really like you for whatever reason, they just don't like you and they angry or whatever the case may be, they can leave that spirit right there in your home. So you got to be
Mm-hmm.
careful about everybody that
Yeah, that's why I
all the
don't.
people that you let into
I'm
your
very
household.
particular about who coming to
Yeah,
my house.
yeah.
And some people be like, "Well, why you so?" You know what? If I ain't call you, I ain't invite you. Don't come in my house
But I'm gonna tell you
because you're gonna
something
be
else I
embarrassed because I'm
learned
not gonna let
too.
you in.
And I'm gonna tell you something else that I learned. Well, somebody taught me something. This young lady taught me something about how to keep that kind of spirit away from you, or keep it
Mm-hmm.
out of your household. So once I learned that, I noticed that certain people don't come to my door anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
won't. They'll drive up in front of my house, but they won't come in. They will
Mm-hmm.
not come into the house. But that's the reason why. Because
That's
those
it.
spirits, their spirit is not right. So you
Mm-hmm.
already know this already. You know that these people aren't right. Their spirits aren't right.
Yeah.
And so this is what is happening in the world. Really, these people
Mm-hmm.
are these spirits are loose, and
Yeah.
they're just jumping, taking bodies. They're
People,
taking a
and you know
form of
something,
bodies and stuff.
the scary thing about the whole thing is, and we ain't even in the beginning of the judgment, because if people, that's what people don't like to read Revelations, because it
Hmm.
talks about the seven seals, and so when people, if they really knew what was coming, they would really be praying, because a lot of the stuff that is
Hmm.
happening, all it is unfolding right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
That's why you got to stay under the blood. You better stay
Yeah.
under the blood. I'm telling you. I don't care if you don't believe in God, if you don't want to. That's on you. But I guarantee you, everybody gonna call out to him one way or the other, whether you believe it or not. Because I had a girl that I used to work with, and she used to say, "Oh, I don't believe in that." And so one day something happened, and she goes, "Oh God!" I said, "Wait a minute, hold on, hold on." I said, "I thought you said you didn't believe in God." She said, "What? That was just a figure of speech." I said, "Well, no, you said, oh God." I said, "So I said, so I said, if you don't believe in him, what you calling on him for?" She didn't like
Hmm.
that, but it was the truth. He said
Yeah.
it was the
But
truth,
it's a
because the
lot of
Bible
people
says
out here
God
like
gave
it.
all of us the measure of faith, whether you and it's up to you to build on it. So it's like and some people don't build on it because some of them don't believe it, so they just it's just, well, I don't believe in that, I don't believe in that. Okay, you don't have to,
Hmm.
you don't have to, you know
Yeah.
but
But
we
we
have to
pray. We have
understand
to pray for all of us,
everybody.
everybody.
I'm
The
always praying for people all the
Yeah, you
time,
have to
whether they
pray.
know it or not.
Yeah. Even my enemies, even the people that don't
Hmm.
like me. I know you don't like me. And I pray for you anyway. I pray that God protect you, keep you safe. I still pray for you. You
Hmm.
know, because I'm not gonna go to hell because of what you think of me.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna allow you to take me down in the pit with you because of I'm holding a grudge against
Grudge
you. I'm
against you.
hating you because you hate me for whatever reason. You don't even know the reason why you hating on me or why you don't like me or whatever the case may be. And that's the same thing with this racism stuff. They
Hmm.
hating on us for what reason? They don't even know why they don't like us. You
Mm-mm.
know, we weren't the ones that captured them and
You
brought
need to
them
loose that
over.
spirit.
Right. We weren't the ones that captured them and brought them over to a country that we wasn't that we didn't want to come to. We didn't do that. We didn't capture them, put them on no boat in
Hmm.
handcuffs and chains and
In
stuff like that.
shackles.
We didn't do that. We didn't do that to them.
Hmm.
You did it to
And the
us.
sad thing, and
Now you don't want us here?
now but just the sad thing about that is they used us against us in that respect too.
Hmm.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. You had the
Hmm.
Uncle Toms then.
No, it was just the ones who was all they were thinking about was money, and they wasn't thinking,
Hmm.
they didn't realize the consequences that came behind it. But it was a show I was watching. It was a African channel that I was watching one day, and the lady said that they were showing what happened in history when the women found out
Hmm.
how their loved ones was ended up on the ship, and they tracked down the men who did it, and cut their head off. The
Yeah.
African women, yeah. It's like
Hmm.
It's they wanted to find out who caused their family members to be taken into captivity. I
Yeah.
said I
And
said I said that I said that's the worst thing you want to do is make a sister mad.
mhm. I be hearing people talking about, well, I'm burning sage in my house. It ain't gonna do no good to burn no sage in your house if you're not a true believer. You gotta have.
It's like,
We
yeah,
was always told you if you don't have nothing but a mustard seed of faith,
mm-hmm,
that's all you need. It's a mustard seed of faith, and you have to
mm-hmm,
truly believe.
yep,
Because if you watch, if you want to watch something that'll really make you really think, watch Prophecy, the movie
mm-hmm,
Prophecy. Watch
yeah,
all of those movies, and in that movie, one of the episodes, one of the movies that I had seen of Prophecy, it was a young lady that the devil told her that he told her he said, oh, you don't have enough faith. He said, so I know that I can control you. She said, oh, I believe in God. He said, but your faith is not
mm-hmm,
there. You don't have
that's it.
faith. You gotta have faith behind it. It
Mm-hmm.
if
And,
you
and
don't,
and power behind it. Because let me tell you
yeah.
something. The devil know when you got power behind it. You ain't
Yep.
just talking. You ain't just got lip service. You
Yep.
you you stand on what for what you believe in. That's just like when somebody. It was like that movie Barbershop when
Mhm.
Cedric the Entertainer and him and Ice Cube, but this was when Ice Cube's father was in the barbershop, and the guy
Mhm.
was getting ready to bust the window,
Mhm.
and he stood there. Cedric just stood up against this guy, and he knew that he was serious. He knew he wasn't afraid of him, and that's why the guy threw the thing across the street, because he knew this man ain't playing. He's
Man,
serious,
he
and he
got
stood
saved.
on what he believed in.
He stood on,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
exactly. It's
and
just
he
like when I
knew.
was telling you about what
Yeah.
happened to me with the lady in the parking lot. I was, my baby was like 2 or 3 years old, and the lady came to me and started, and I could see that she had nothing in her heart but evilness. I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said, "Oh," I said, "I'm covered by the blood of Jesus Christ," she said, she stopped. It stopped
She
her
looked
in
at
her
you.
tracks
Tracks.
because
Yep.
she was not expecting that. She
Something but
was shocked. She was like, "Oh," she said, "Yeah, yeah, you're right." She said, "Well, you have a good day."
mhm.
And she just
It
kept looking at
confusing.
me. She kept staring at me the whole time. And I just
Anytime you
smiled.
say Jesus,
Yeah. And I just smiled at her. And I got my put my baby in the car and we drove off. I watched her. The woman goes to this van. There's a white van sitting at the end of the corner waiting on her. So she was up to no good. She was either
hmm
gonna snatch my baby,
or try to take both.
or she know that I was gonna fight her. So what
hmm
she was gonna do, I think that she was coming to try and
Get you.
take the baby.
Yeah.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey,
Yeah.
Crystal. Yeah.
But yeah, but they're very, very, we just have to all pull it together, and we have to stay in prayer. We have to believe that this gonna get better, but we have
hmm
to believe it in our hearts and in our minds
hmm
and stuff, because it's not gonna get better if we don't make things, try and work together and make things better.
Yeah.
But
And
we
come
have to
together as
get rid of
one.
this, right?
Is
We have to get rid of this racism stuff. We
you
have
do.
to start to learn to love each other, and we
Yeah.
have to, because it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse, you
If they
know
don't start standing up for what is right and stand their
yeah,
ground. Because the Bible says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, he said, then will I forgive their sins and heal the land. But that's the problem. So many people are not doing that.
yeah,
They giving excuses for hatred. They're giving excuses for racism instead of telling the truth and shaming the devil. They're not doing
yeah,
it. They sit up there
yeah,
giving excuses for it.
yeah. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We will see you guys on Thursday. On Thursday, we have Dr. Inky back in the building. He's coming back, and he's coming back with some great information. So make sure that you tune in Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night. Much love. Stay safe.
God bless.
And God keep you.